Hello, this is Sudhakar Moparty. Today we're going to talk about AWS command line interface. This is the one we're going to talk this entity and its relationship with all the other entities. For documentation, you can go over configuration basics under AWS command line interface. And you can see how it is set up and all that. It's easy to understand, okay, provided you understand the concepts. So I'm going to talk about the concepts. So as you know, you have EC2 instances that needs to be set up in your AWS cloud. And every instance, once it is launched, it has an instance ID. Okay. Now, what are the various ways to connect it to this EC2 instance machine? You can connect using command line interface. You can connect to the EC2 instance. You can also program it through the programs. You can connect to the EC2 instance, or you can log in into your console on the management console and then connect it to EC2. Well, I mean, you can see the details about that EC2 instance through management console. So generally, these are the different ways that you can connect and do your operations. You want to change certain things and all. So you can do programmatically or command line or through the console. Now, through command line interface, you need to install this program. Once you install, it will be able to connect to the EC2 instance. So on your local machine, if you are using a Linux or a Mac OS, I'm using a Mac, so you can install. And once you install, these are the files that would be created, credentials and config files. So under credentials, what will you have? You will have you will have the access key ID. It's like user ID password. For the management console, you have that user ID password and then login. So similarly, for this, you need an access key and a secret key, which you would get when you set up your IAM user, and the administrator can give you these access key ID and secret key generated, and then you can use those. There are certain other configuration information like what region you are going to connect it to, what region instances you are connecting, and when you execute a command, what format do you want to output the thing, these command lines? When you type some command, you need to get back your output. Is it a text format, JSON format, and YAML, other things? So I would go with JSON mostly. So the output would be I want to get JSON output. Okay. All right, and then what else you have? Oh, okay, AWS fingerprint. So when you try to connect to the EC2 instance, it will, for the first time, it will ask you to verify the fingerprint so that it is not, there is no middle man in the middle attack, man in the middle attack. So for that, you have to get to your fingerprint using a command first, and then verify that. Make a note of that, and then when you actually connect, and you just make sure that you have the right instance fingerprint. So once it is installed, it has a unique fingerprint. And you query first that fingerprint using command line, and then compare that when you actually connect it to the instance. When you try to connect to the instance the first time, it will show this fingerprint, because this is the fingerprint that when it created this instance, it has this fingerprint. And when you are connecting to the machine first time, it will show that fingerprint and then ask you to confirm. And if you have noted that fingerprint first, by querying, by doing a command, there's a command, you can look it up to get the fingerprint, and then you can compare, and then you just have to pass a instance ID. Every instance has an ID, so if you pass an ID, and it will give you the fingerprint, and that you can compare. All right, so credentials are pretty straightforward, access key and secret key, always, whenever it's user ID password type of thing. Generally, access key and secret key concept is used whenever a machine or a program is trying to connect to, trying to log in. Humans, so we use like management console, this is where you are trying to give a user ID password and all that to connect. So that's the difference, but it is like a user ID, and this one is like a password. What else? This is the output format. When I execute a command, what format the output should come? This is a JSON format. This config file lists all the, there's a default region, default format, and default values, profiles that you can use, because when you install this AWS CLI on your local machine, you need to have all this information to connect, and that's the profile basically, to connect. So there's a default, or you can maintain different credentials. This is for prod user, this is for dev user, and this is for prod config, and then dev config. And then you can have, when you execute the command, you can specify which configuration, which profile to use, so that it will pick up that profile and connect and connect to that instance in that region. Okay, so that's just to organize information, who is connecting, and the access keys and profiles, that kind of thing. Hope that makes sense, and if it is useful, let me know in your comments. And now you can, I'll take you to here. So let me clear my drawing. So basically, I was trying to explain about this configuration basics and access key, secret key, and then this is the command that you can execute. And you can import credentials, and then you can specify different formats, different profiles. So go through this and then it should start making sense. All this rest of the information is all just trying to get you familiarized with the command line interface. So if you practice this, you'll become comfortable. All right, and that's all I have for today. Have a nice Saturday, wherever you are in the world. And I'll talk to you in the next video.